What's happening, everybody? It's your man Dame D, and we are in the background just having one of those days with my team. You know, it's coming towards the end of the season, and as you can tell, things were just not adding up. But I think for some of us too, we may actually have that feeling like sometimes, whether it be in our career or things that we're doing, sometimes the numbers just don't add up. And I'm honored today to have our guest who's really going to come on and talk about career strategies and really hopefully enlighten us on how we can move forward. And what I love is as we're closing out this amazing season 3, we're having so much love by having so much of our backyard family here in the DMV coming on the show. And today's guest is another one of those, right here locally. So you guys here in the DMV, pay attention to what today's guest is going to be bringing to you, because it's really a lot, and I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring our guest to the stage. Today I'm joined by Tanya Poindexter Right, excuse me, White. Like I said, things are not adding up today, y'all. I'm telling you, it's been one of those days for me. And Tanya, I apologize. But, I want to, let you introduce yourself to our audience, because I really think that you really have really a lot to offer to a lot of people, with the pandemic and people changing and trying to figure out what to do next. And you offer some other things as well. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me here. I am Tonya Poindexter White, but don't feel bad. Everybody makes that same mistake because the name of my company is The Right Touch. And I didn't think about that when I named the company Right and White. And so everybody makes that very same mistake. So don't feel bad at all.
Look, I know I fumbled it, and I believe my wife fumbled it. And she told me as well prior to getting you on. So I apologize again. And I know you've been very humble and considerate. And you made the same comment, I believe, to my wife. So thank you again. So Tanya, if you could, I really want to, before we really dive in to your services, I'd like to allow you some time to really talk to, me and our listeners, who is Tanya White, and give us a little bit about your background, where you came up, where you grew up. Let's go down memory lane a little bit.
Oh man, you're really going way back now. Well, way back in the day.
Okay.
I'm actually originally from Spotsylvania County. I grew up on a farm,
Oh wow.
believe it or not, in Spotsylvania County. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're from the farm. I can't believe it. But I am. I grew up, I'm not sure if people are familiar with the Lake Anna area
Okay.
um, in Spotsylvania. So that's where I'm
Hmm.
originally from, in
Okay.
Spotsylvania, Virginia. Um, but grew up there, Spotsylvania High School. Um, and life took me from there. So I
Okay.
didn't do things the traditional way, like a lot of people, high school, college, and then employment. I did
Right.
things my own personal way, and high school, got pregnant, married, and then went on from there. But
Okay.
it's okay because everything happens, and that creates a path for you in a different kind of way, and you learn from it, and it creates
True.
different opportunities.
True.
So because of that, because of all those life experience, I became a writer. I
Mm.
became a paralegal at one point. A career strategist is what I am. Of course, I'm a mother always, a philosopher. I like
Wow.
to think of myself as a philosopher, but more than I'm a person who genuinely cares for the success of others.
Mm.
I try to always put myself in other people's places, and because of that, I owe my success because
Mm.
of other people's success.
I love how you say that, because so many of us, I don't care, what walk of life or what race or whatever your background may be. So many of us have had made mistakes young and early on. And
Hmm.
it's really no deterrent, for you not to be able to bounce back and to become successful or do things positively to impact your community. And I
Right.
love how you said that. And I just want to share, from for some others who may listen to this, because I think it's a real crucial thing. Like, what was it maybe that at some point that was a switch or a turning point for you to say, hey, you know what, I got this, and took on, I don't know whether it was a career challenge, like you said, being a mom, like what was that
Hmm.
aha moment that really kind of turned that switch for you?
You're asking really good questions, really hard questions. I'm going to give
I'm
you
sorry.
okay. So, okay, number one, I've always had drive. Always, always,
Okay.
always had drive. So there's never been a doubt of that.
Hmm.
But okay, I told you I grew up in Spotsylvania County on a farm, but
Right.
I grew up poor in
Okay.
Spotsylvania County on
Okay.
a farm. And so that is what instilled my drive in me. I'm always going to,
Hmm.
continue to want. But, that also, instilled in me, empathy, compassion, made
Mm.
sure that, I'm going to make sure that my kids never have to go through what I went
Mm.
through. So, I did get married and made sure that my kids had a family, but at
Hmm.
the same time, I still wanted to continue to have that job. So I worked at the FBI for
Oh
21
wow.
years.
Wow. Wow.
So I worked at the FBI for 21 years.
Wow.
Um, but even when I went into the FBI, it wasn't until I got into that paralegal position, and all my former coworkers, if they look at this, they're going to know because they remember when I was in that position. I felt like I grew up in that position. That's when I felt like, okay, it's really time to really get serious because this is a serious job. Okay, all the jobs in the FBI are serious, but this is when I
Yes.
finally was like, wow, I'm doing big things here. I'm going to court. I'm putting, creating these court documents. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm really doing some big things. And that's when I, went back to school and got, to get my degree and just really realized that, hey,
Mm.
there's more to life than just what I was used to.
Right. Yeah.
And so I started seeing the entire world differently.
Mm. I love it again, because it strikes so many chords, again, for me personally. So I listen, like say you growing up here in Virginia and growing up on a farm. So my wife and I were originally from New York, and kind of, my wife grew up in Brooklyn, lived in Brooklyn. I grew up. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, but I grew up on Long Island, and to hear some of the struggles, and like I said, no matter what your backgrounds are, the stories are the same.
Yeah,
And a lot of my wife's drive, a lot of my drive is really from the things that you didn't have, and the things
exactly.
that you wanted to make sure that you were able to create and generate for your family to have, so that they don't experience those things. And I think it's really important that we really talk about those things sometimes when you have the opportunity, because someone who may listen to this today, tomorrow, next week, next year, this could be that aha moment that could really impact and change someone's life. And that's why I'm honored to be able to have and share this platform. So thank you for opening up and sharing, that part of who Tanya is, who Tanya was, and your story is still to be written. So I want to go ahead and ask though. I listen. You sound like you've had a tremendous career arc, and the pleasure to be in different places and deal with different people and different situations. But I do have to ask, you know, as your career advanced, Tanya, what techniques maybe have you found to be keys to your success, not only in business, but maybe in life, or, whether it be in the community, church, like what would you say, uh,
Mhm.
those keys to success are for you?
So, honestly, it's not the hard skills that you have. To me, it's those soft skills.
Mm,
It's the compassion, it's the empathy, it's the listening skills. It's those skills that you really can't teach someone. It's those skills that are innate. It's those skills that you're born with.
mm,
It's through those skills those are the skills that I hire people for. It's those skills that, I can teach someone how to write something, or I can
Mm,
teach someone how to do and, complete an action, but I can't teach you how to treat someone with compassion and look at them and
mm,
understand them and learn them and see what's wrong with them. You can't teach those skills of compassion and empathy.
mm.
And those skills are the whole reason why, I have actually been able to move forth in my career with the
Wow.
federal government, and even my career now, because, with my business, my tagline is professional writing with a personal touch, but it's through
Wow.
those personal touches, uh, is why we are able to perform so well with our clients, because we don't just, have you fill out a form and just write things up. Myself and my staff will actually sit there and have a Zoom or meeting with you, and, understand, ask you questions, dig deep, just to get to know you, so that we can add your character into everything. Because it's only through getting to know you that you're able to, provide a real service or product to
Yeah.
anybody. And that's one of the frustrations that I had in my government career, was that, you know, there is no real personality. When they say
Mm,
just the facts, ma'am, it's truly just the facts. They just want the facts. There's no character, there's no personality, there's no individuality in
mm.
anything. And, I needed some of that, some of the warm fuzzies, I guess you
Yeah.
could call
Yeah. I totally get where you're coming from, because I too, being a kind of being on the government side, right? And I would take personality over education any day. And when I say personality, humility, someone who comes in humble, and wants to learn and wants to be a part of, versus someone, sometimes we have our education
it.
and
Hmm.
we sit on our laurels and we look down on those who we think that are less than, because we may have one or more degrees to that person's one degree. So I get where you're coming from. There's something lost in our fabric,
Hmm.
of society, and I love when I hear you speak of the passion of, those missing pieces, the commonality of just being a human being, really. uh,
Yeah.
it's empowering, and I love it. My hairs are standing up thinking about it, and it makes me want to, really dive in even more. uh, you know what would you, not even before that, it's kind of like a two-part question, I guess. Before we really get into Right Touch LLC, I want to know,
Hmm.
in your mind and in your eyes, and how you see it when you created Right Touch. Well, one, how did the creation come about of Right Touch, and what would you say the mission then is of Right Touch LLC?
So the creation of the right touch, I actually hinted at it. It was born out of frustration,
Okay.
because um, I wanted to do more. I knew that there was more that I could do, because, I was a strategic communications program manager, and every time I sent something up that had a little bit of character in it, they'd
Mm,
send it back down to me and say, take that out. So I
wow.
was frustrated. And at the same time, I worked at the FBI so that I could help people. Well, at the FBI at that level, you're so far removed from people, you don't really see the people that you can
Mm,
help.
wow.
And so, I felt like I wasn't really helping people, the people that I actually went there to help. So the right touch was formed in order to actually come in contact with people and help them to succeed, to become successful in, in whatever to version of success that they wanted. So
Mm,
I was frustrated, and I wanted to be in touch with the people that I could help.
mm.
So
Oh man, that's
yeah, so
that's
that, that
that's deep.
that's why I was born.
That's really deep. So then, to piggyback on that, then, like I said, what would you say is the mission then? Outside of, I guess the focus then, like you said, is really to help people succeed.
Hmm.
And then, well, then the next part of that, then, what impact do you see it playing in our community? And are there any success stories maybe that you could share or talk about, or something inspiring or impactful that you've experienced while working with the client, since you started Right Touch?
So, I mean, so the Right Touch, we do so many things. We have so many different services that we provide. But one of the most impactful one I'd say was during the pandemic. Not as many people were purchasing writing services because
Mm.
everybody was, not working. And
Mhm.
so, but a lot of people coming to me and saying, "Hey, Tanya, can you write some resumes for me? Can you write some resumes?" And then you had so many people who were displaced from their jobs, who had been working in the same job from 15 to 20 years, and they did not know how to interview for a job or
Mhm.
how to, transition back into a new job. So they said,
Mhm.
"Can you help me with that?" That's why I got certified as a career coach, so that I
Mm.
can help those people. So I got certified as a career coach, and I helped these people learn how to switch from a job that they had been working for 15 or 20 years to transitioning into a new job that they were actually working, making more money at it in their new roles. And they
Wow.
were able to work from home, and it was more fruitful. So, those people who I write resumes for, they come back later and they're like, "You know what? I'm starting a new business. Can you write me a business plan now?"
Mm.
So they're repeat clients who they've taken those next steps, from working for someone else to, "Hey, you know what? I feel empowered now
Mhm.
to create a new business." And
Mm.
then later on, "Can you write me a grant? Can you write me a proposal? Can you do something else?" Because, they have been well served in those other projects, so that we can help them grow into something else. And that's really what I want to do, is make an impact in the community in that way.
Well, that's what I really I love, being able to do this, every week. We find, individuals like yourself that are really giving back. And I love, when you talk about, your work as a career strategist and things of that nature. What are some of, because I hear you talk about some of the services now, but can you just share with those who are listening, because some people may need grant writing and different things, but what are some of the other services that if somebody looking or listening right now and they want to reach out to you, Tanya, like share some of the services that you provide to the community?
Whew, we do a lot. And
Okay.
so as you know, you already know we do resume writing and career coaching. We'll write white papers, we'll do newsletters for small businesses, we do business plans, grant writing, proposals for those who want to apply for requests for proposals for a government agency. We do social media management. We'll manage your social media for you. We'll do website content for you as well. We even host, and I don't honestly advertise this, but we will host your websites for you and design them as well. So
Okay,
we
good.
have staff on board for that as well. So we do a wide variety of services. We provide a wide variety of services. We'll edit. We've done script writing. We've done Yes, we've done ghostwriting as well. So
Wow.
anything that needs to be written, we'll write it because we are a group of writers and we love to write when you don't.
Man, look here, y'all. Y'all listening, and if you watching this, stay tuned for this information. At the end, we're going to make sure we put all the Tanya's information down at the bottom so that you guys can get this. But, it's right here in our own backyard, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I say, you got to reach out and use the tools that, are here in our community. We have to go out and support, our small businesses, our business owners, our entrepreneurs who really have so much talent and they're really sharing their talent with us. So, uh, I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen. I want to go ahead and take a second to thank the sponsors of Two Mics Up. And don't go anywhere. And we will be right back after the break. So be right back. Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man Dame DNYDC, and we're back, fresh out the break. I'm sitting here with the amazing Tonya White of the Right Touch LLC. If you're just joining and you're trying to figure out what's going on today, I'm just going to tell you stop. Just go back to the beginning. You gotta hear this conversation from the top. Don't come in here tippy toeing and trying to figure out what's going on. You want to hear what Tanya's had to share with us today. It's been amazing so far. I'm enjoying today's conversation. I'm sure you will too. So Tanya, as we continue, we talked about the services that you provide. I mean, you have a massive umbrella of services that is awesome and is really designed to help so many. But I want to ask you, let's just say I'm new, or I'm somebody that's listening. What would you say, um, or who would you say could gain the most from using your services?
Honestly, our services are designed for everyone. I mean, they're designed for the unemployed worker who's really looking to get back into the game, and then
Mm,
they're designed for a company who wants to bid on a government contract. So they're really made for everyone. They're designed for people in the jail who's trying to get back into work. They're
wow.
designed for every possible person. Anyone who uses words and who has something to say can use or benefit from my company's services.
Mm.
You have
I mean that
something to say, you could use my services.
that's powerful because I don't know, maybe we might need to talk offline because I had a we had a guest on, Juanita Shanks, and she works with Failsafe ERA out in the Rappahannock Fredericksburg area, and I just love what you just said about you'll help people reintegrate, you know from incarceration and trying to get back into society. And I think that's really great because I don't know why I just thought, but it just that's an overlooked segment of people trying to reconnect socially
Mm-hmm.
and reintegrate positively back into our life. And I'm just curious to know, you know, have you worked with someone that's been trying to integrate or kind of been in a situation through incarceration that's tried to better themselves?
So one on one, I've actually been asked to work with someone. I've actually tried to get into the system, but I've had so much red tape trying to
Mm.
get there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked with someone actually asked me to work one on one. So I've offered my services, free of charge, of course,
Mm-hmm.
to someone who was trying to integrate. And I'm actually getting ready to work with another nonprofit group, which I'm finagling myself into right now, to work with them, and they're more receptive to me coming in there to work with them.
Yeah.
But yes, it's something that I definitely want to do, and I have no problems going into group settings and providing these services free of charge because it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to do to get these people back into the workforce so they can learn and earn a living on their own.
Mm.
Why write their resumes for them when they can learn how to do it on their own?
Mm.
I have no problem whatsoever going in there and working with these people.
Yeah.
They deserve it, so why not?
Oh, I agree. And I just, man, it just, I mean, it just tickles my heart just to hear that, that passion, that dedication, because everyone, and like I said, it just kind of circles back to how for me, this conversation started, just within your background and just understanding struggle, and understanding, loss, pain, hurt, and not wanting to have to, relive that, and just really understanding what it means to be giving and to give back. It's really what I think is a lost art in our society. And not many of us really understand that. So I'm totally in tune with you, and kudos to you. And I wish you success in your next, uh, uh, business opportunity with this organization, because I know you're going to go ahead and take it to a whole nother level. Um,
Thank
so
you.
I just want to ask then too, because there's another part of this that I think a lot of us overlook. And when we think of communication, a lot of us just think of communication as just words, just this or blah blah blah. But how do you and the Right Touch team view communication?
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl when people think that, communication is just words, because communication is everything that we do. It's
Mm,
everything around us. It's our thoughts, it's our body language, it's our actions, it's our facial expressions, it's our inaction.
mm,
It's our lack of action. It's the action. It's everything around us. It's how we think. It's how we view things. It's how we feel. Action. I mean, communication is everything around us.
Mm-hmm.
So please don't limit communication to just words. Communication is everything around us and everything that you do. Um, so um, don't ever limit communication to just words because then you'd be limiting yourself and
Mm.
you'd be limiting everybody around you.
So true. So I want to ask you that. I want to piggyback on because even thinking about that, because you're right. It's not just words, and I wonder for you now with the pandemic, and maybe you maybe had to pivot. Cause like I say, you maybe not be doing a lot. Like maybe in the past where you had face to face and one on ones. But how is that? Uh, the pandemic helped you have to pivot virtually, such as we're doing, and
Mhm.
then even how have you been able to pivot, maybe communicating virtually, through this change?
Yeah, so and that has been a challenge, and I had been zoomed out. But yeah, so I've had to do everything virtually, and it has been difficult, because some of the people that I've worked with, don't use technology as well,
Mm,
and
mhm.
so I've had to do different things with those guys having to meet outdoors in
Yep.
open areas, in which I'll do if I have to. But
Mm,
for the most part, I've been able to meet outdoors. I'm sorry, via Zoom, but I'll make concessions whenever I can, and meet you in person at an outdoors area. Now, with the pandemic changing a little bit, we'll meet at coffee shops, if we can. Coffee shops. I have an office in downtown Manassas, and I'll accept people in if we're both wearing masks.
okay.
But I'll make concessions and we'll make things happen because I don't like to turn people away. If you need my help, we'll make a way.
I love that. I mean, this is one of those things. Pandemic has made so many of us, or businesses, period, have to change and switch and pivot on a dime to, have some level of not just success, hope for some, to be able to keep their doors open, and hope that they can meet some level of success, whatever that looks like in today's new normal. I have no idea, but I'm happy that you have continued to be able to, manifest and work your way through that.
Yes.
So I do, we're coming around towards the close of an awesome conversation today, and I really appreciate you, Tanya, taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down here with not only with me but with our audience. But I want to ask, before we close, what's next for Tanya White and the Right Touch LLC? Because I know you mentioned the nonprofit that you're looking to work to, but what else? I mean, you say you write, for plays or stay, like what's next? I'm just interested to know what you got in the bag. Like, what's happening next?
You know what? I actually don't know what's next for the right touch. For me, I actually own another business
Wow, wow.
in addition to this business. So I own another business called TMK Staffing and Recruiting. Um, business LLC, which because I was writing so many resumes, I had a lot of business coming to me saying, "Hey, do you have any candidates that might fit this bill?" And I kept sending them people, and I'm thinking, maybe I should get paid for that. So I
Hmm.
opened TMK Staffing and Recruiting, which is very well now. Um,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Again, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't caught on, Tany's got a whole lot going on in her shopping cart, and y'all need to reach out, man. If there's anything that I missed today, make sure you guys reach out to Tanya, man. Because look, this is what it's all about. Because she may know someone that could be the right someone to help you get yourself together. And when I
absolutely.
mean whether it be business or whatever, and this is what this platform is all about. And I'm sorry, Ty, I didn't mean to cut you up, but please continue.
No, no, no. That's okay because you're absolutely right. I'm a networker, and so
Yeah.
I try to keep everybody in my pocket or keep in contact with everybody. But I don't know what's going to be next or what the next big thing is. But whatever it is, I'm going to be ready for it. And whatever wherever God takes me is where I'm going to be. So I don't want to limit myself, but I'm going to be ready for whatever the next thing is.
Man, that's so awesome, man. It's been my pleasure to share tonight's conversation with you. You're an amazing woman. I wish you nothing but continued success in all that comes your way and everything that you do. And it makes me proud to share this moment with you. So before we go, Tanya, could you please share, your social media information, your website information for our audience? And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make sure that we put that down here, especially on YouTube. You guys are watching this on YouTube. All the information will be down here in the bio, so you can make sure you can reach out to Tanya, because you're going to need to reach out to Tanya after you hear this conversation. Trust me.
Yeah, so you can reach me at my website is www.righttouchllc.com. You can also reach me on Facebook. My page is at Right Touch LLC, or you can also find me on Instagram on right_touch_LLC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. Today's guest, Tonya White, and she's got the right touch, baby. Make sure you guys go ahead and reach out to her, support her and everything that she's doing in our community. Tanya, thank you again. And if there's anything that we can do here on Two Mics Up to help support anything you got going on, please let us know. You are now part of the family, and we'll make sure we can do whatever we can to continue to support you and all that you do in the future.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another one in the books. Season 3, back half coming to an end. Man, look, we got a couple of more things coming up. Uh, I can't even. I'm not even going to talk about it. All I know is, right now you watching us on YouTube. How you feel about TV? I like TV. Who knows? You might see this on TV. Season 4, new things. But until then, you can follow Two Mics Up online at www.twomicsup.com, and that was too many W's. It's been one of those days. Hey, things are just not adding up. Hey, I might as well finish how I started. Uh, but you can also follow us along social media as well. Everything is Two Mics Up: IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're here watching this today on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And before you go out that door, hit that bell over there so that you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from us here at Two Mics Up. And like we always do at this time, stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out.